What if your life is already exactly how you want it to be, but your mind just hasn't caught up yet? Most people wait for success or peace or freedom to show up, then they'll act like someone who has it. But what if that's backward? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Not your job, not your relationship, not the money in your account, your thoughts." I had a friend who wanted to start a business. She had the idea, the name, the logo, everything. But she kept saying the same thing. "I just need to wait until I feel ready." So she waited and waited. She watched other people launch, make mistakes, get better, while she stayed stuck. One night we were talking and I asked her, "If you were already a successful entrepreneur, what would you be doing right now?" She was quiet for a second, then said, "I'd be building, writing, showing up, not waiting." That moment changed everything for her. See, most people think change happens outside in. They believe, first I get the thing, then I feel confident, calm, focused, then I act like someone who has it. But Marcus saw it the other way around. He lived during wars, pandemics, political chaos. As emperor, he couldn't afford to let his thoughts be random or reactive. He had to align his mind first and let action follow. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This is what most people miss. They chase outcomes. They try to force life into shape, but they never do the one thing that would change everything. Train the mind to match the goal. Think about it. If you want to be a calm person, but your thoughts are constantly anxious, if you want to be wealthy, but your self-talk is full of fear and lack, you're swimming upstream. No matter what you do, your mind is pulling in the other direction. But what happens when the inside and outside match? What happens when your inner voice already knows the outcome is yours? That's when you stop reacting, you stop hesitating, you start aligning. Marcus Aurelius said, "A man's life is what his thoughts make of it." Let's break that down. He's not saying thoughts are nice or helpful. He's saying your entire life, how you experience it, what you create, who you become, is shaped by the way you think. That means if you think like a leader, you become one. If you think like a victim, you stay one. If you think like someone who already has what you want, you start acting like it. And that changes everything. Let me give you a real example. I used to walk into rooms, meetings, interviews, even dates, and feel smaller than everyone else. I thought I had to earn confidence. I thought I had to prove myself first. But then I tried something different. Before going in, I asked myself, what would I think if I already belonged here? Not what should I say? Not how can I impress them? Just what would my thoughts sound like if I already had what I wanted? The shift was instant. I walked in slower. I spoke less, but with more calm. I stopped trying to convince anyone of anything, and people noticed. It's like they could feel I wasn't chasing their approval anymore. I was already there, inside. That's what Marcus meant. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Not the room, not the crowd, your way of thinking. Let me pause here and ask you something. What if your dream life already existed, and the only thing left was to match your mind to it? Not in some abstract, mystical way, but in your day-to-day. How you speak to yourself, how you move through resistance, what you focus on when no one's watching. This is alignment. And it's not just positive thinking, it's a disciplined practice. It's choosing over and over to live in the mindset of your outcome, even when your senses tell you otherwise. That's what Marcus trained himself to do. Even as the most powerful man in Rome, he didn't rely on power. He relied on this. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. What color are yours? Marcus Aurelius once said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." That's a mouthful, but here's the simple truth. You get to decide what things mean to you. Let me say that again. It's not the event or situation causing your stress. It's your interpretation of it. Your mind is like a judge deciding if something is a threat or a blessing. Think about your last big setback. A project that failed, a tough conversation, a lost opportunity. What hurt more? The event? Or how you thought about the event? I once missed a promotion I was sure I would get. I was crushed, felt like a failure. Then I remembered this Marcus quote. I asked myself, Is this setback the problem, or is it how I'm choosing to see it? That simple question shifted everything. I stopped blaming external things and started focusing on what I could control, my attitude, my next steps. Here's a question for you. How much energy do you waste stressing about things that haven't even happened yet? Or maybe never will? That's the power of your mind. You create the prison or the freedom. And this leads straight into what Marcus said next. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Sounds like a paradox, right? But it means obstacles don't block you. They create your path. Let's say you want to be a writer, but every time you sit down, your mind screams, "You're not good enough," or "What if no one reads this?" Instead of running from those thoughts, what if you leaned into them? What if you moved like a successful writer despite the fear? Imagine it. You don't wait for confidence. You act, knowing the fear is part of the process. You start small, but you start. This is the mind aligning with your goal, no matter what the outside world throws at you. You might be wondering, okay, but how do I keep this up when the world drags me down, when everything feels against me? Marcus answers this. Look well into thyself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if thou wilt always look. Here's what that means. No matter what chaos or noise is outside, there's an unshakable place inside you. A place of calm, power, and clarity. Sounds almost too simple, right? But it's true. Imagine a lighthouse in the middle of a storm. The storm rages. Wind, rain, waves crashing. But the lighthouse doesn't move. It doesn't panic. It just is. That lighthouse is your mind when it's aligned. It doesn't depend on outside conditions. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Change is constant. The only stable thing is how you choose to respond. So what do you do when your mind starts slipping? When doubt creeps back in? When the fear starts whispering? Marcus would say, begin each day by telling yourself, today I shall be meeting with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness, all of them due to the offender's ignorance of what is good or evil. Basically, expect the chaos. Prepare your mind like armor. Does that sound tough? It is, but it's also freeing. Because you stop taking things personally. You stop letting others control your mood or your outcome. You control your mind, and that controls your life. Here's a quick reality check. Are you letting external stuff hijack your mind, or are you building a fortress inside? That fortress is built by how you think, by imagining you already have what you want, by moving like the person you want to be, right now. Because the universe doesn't just respond to wishes, it responds to alignment. The better your mind matches your goal, the more your actions, decisions, and even the world around you start to support it. Marcus summed it up best. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. No debate, no waiting. You want your dream? Act like you already have it. Let's get real for a second. Ignoring how powerful your mind is, that's a heavy price to pay. I know people who chase goals but never feel peace. They get the job, the money, the status, but inside it's like a storm never settles. They're anxious, restless, always waiting for the next thing to fix their life. Marcus saw this too. He warned against the cost of a restless mind. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. That's brutal, because you could be alive and still not living, just surviving, stuck in your head, disconnected from your true power. I once met a man who spent decades in a career he hated, always dreaming of doing something else. He never made the move. He said, "I'll start tomorrow. I'll get ready, just need to figure things out first." Years passed, his health declined, he never lived the life he imagined. That pain? It's the cost of not aligning your mind with your desire. You get one shot at life, and Marcus's warning is clear. Don't act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. Be good to yourself by starting now, not someday, now. So here's what we learned today. First, your mind creates your reality. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Second, obstacles aren't roadblocks. They are part of your path. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Third, strength lives inside you, not outside. Look well into thyself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if thou wilt always look. Now here's one simple thing you can do today. Start moving like the person you want to be. Don't wait for confidence, clarity, or permission. Act as if you already have what you want. Change your thoughts, change your actions. Because Marcus reminds us, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. So what does that look like for you? How will you move differently today? If you had to take one step toward alignment right now, what would it be? Let me know in the comments. If you found this helpful, hit like. Subscribe if you want more grounded wisdom. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. Thanks for hanging out and thinking deeply today. Remember, your mind is the key. Align it, and the rest will follow.